fiberglass pool with an attached hot tub. We've now learned that our pool installer had never stoned the attached hot tub before our project, despite selling it and saying it would be no big deal when we showed him a picture in a brochure of what we wanted. The first year everything seemed fine. Since then, the stones continue to fall off. The crew has repaired it, and within a month it's worse than before. Is there a product or technique that can prevent this? Is what we want even possible with fiberglass? If not, how do we go back now to something worth looking at it?
Okay, so if someone's never done it before, I kind of, in my head start envisioning how somebody new to building would approach it, and typically what they don't think about is structurally underground, what needs to be there to support. So here's what I'm thinking in my head when you ask that question is, we have a fiberglass pool, boom, stuck in the ground, filled with water, ready to go, perfect. Now we take a fiberglass shell and since there's stone, I'm assuming it's raised up out of the ground above the pool level somewhat so that you could stone the surround. To me, if this was my first time doing it and knowing what I know, we would set the shell 18 inches high, whatever it is, and then now we have to build a structure around the shell all the way down to the bottom of the shell to make sure that we have structural strength. So what I would do is I would pour concrete, set the shell in place, that fiberglass shell in place, level it, and then block it from that footing, which is at the bottom of the shell, all the way up to the top, and then stone it. So we have no issue now of movement. My guess is what happened in this case, in this scenario, is they installed the pool, backfilled around the pool, set the shell at whatever height they wanted so that you'd have some exposed stone. If you provided pictures moving forward, I might be able to help you a little bit more with it, but I'm here in my head, I'm thinking about it. Go back to that way. They put the shell of the pool in, backfill around it, fill it with water, dig a hole for the spa, having it 16 inches out of the ground, 14 inches, 24, whatever it is. Set it in ground, backfill all of that, and then whatever, cinder block, concrete wire mesh, whatever it is, they surround it and they put tile on, or they put stone on it. The problem with it is the weight, everything is pushing down. So you have this hot tub that's at 104 degrees, you have a shell, and then you have dirt. Now, if you had that solid concrete from there down 3 feet down into the ground, you'd transfer that heat away and not have an issue with the exterior. If you don't have that, you now have likely, even if they poured a concrete patio around it and then put cinder block around it, that patio is going to move, everything's going to keep moving, and the stone's going to continue to pop off. Short of restructuring all of it, the only thing that I could really recommend, whatever this stone is, whether it's artificial stone, natural stone, whatever, is as they come off, glue them back on. Don't mortar them back on. I'm guessing they mortared them on, then they fell off, came back out, smeared a bunch of more mortar on there, stuck them back in. Okay, they're going to stay. They're not, because everything is moving. It's dynamic. You have a hot tub that's hot, that's flexing and moving. You have the ground that's moving. You have the pool that's sitting over here. All that's happening. It's just going to keep popping off the mortar because the mortar's not moving. The only way the mortar moves is if it breaks, and it's not going to move. What I would suggest they do, if you don't want to go through the process of digging this all out and putting a proper structural, functional footing underneath it, the only way you're going to salvage this is to glue those back on. So now we have mortar that's staying in one place, it's being forced to flex and it's moving a little bit, and we have a glue on the stone, gives it a little bit of movement. 801 is a glue that we use. It's a tube of caulk that we use that's super strong. Things have to be dry when you use it, but that will allow some of that movement. So what I guess if you don't want to go through the process of digging this thing all down and building up properly, is as the stones fall off, glue them back on. Once you've got them all glued back on, they're not likely to fall off anymore, and maybe then at that point you could tuck point and put a little bit of concrete in there in the joints to make them look okay. So that's the hodgepodge way of doing it. The right way would be to break out some patio around it, get a footing down in there, get that thing just locked into place, cinder blocking around it, and stoning it back up. And your comment was, is it even possible? Anything is possible if it's well thought through and built from 4 feet. I always think 4 feet underground. Start down there, build up from there. If you can start down far enough, you can always build something that structurally can be supported. And probably they just didn't know enough about the structural part, because that hot tub shell is going to flex. And if you don't plan for that flexing, you just, it keeps falling apart. So good luck.